This will be an interview with one of my students, Dan. We just started working together like 2 months ago, and he got really good and quick results because of one thing. All right, number one, he has already had past experience in terms of testing products. And he already tested like over 10 products by himself, but nothing really took off and it was not profitable. When we started working together, the second product he tested, literally it's at 1K per day right now. And like he just tested that one product maybe 20 days ago. So it's gonna be very interesting to follow what's gonna happen over the next few months. However, today we're gonna talk about the specific things he did really, really well and how he actually took the most value out of my program. Because what he's extremely good at is asking me very good, specific questions and basically providing me problems which I need to solve for him, which is not a problem at all because I've already been there. So you don't want to miss this one because it's very important to actually have the ability of identifying the problems, presenting them, and then just having a person who's gonna solve them for you. Okay? So trust me, watch the whole thing and you're gonna get a lot of insight of how it actually works with me inside of the program.
Okay, so basically let's start. Welcome to the interview, Dan. Really appreciate you coming on. Tell your experience, how everything went with like how you met me, where you met me from, and how things progressed from there.
Okay, yeah, so basically I started drop shipping in 2019 for about like 6 months, and like I tested a few products. It was breaking even, but like I just loved like the model about it where like you make your website and like you find a supplier, you buy it for that, but you sell it at a higher price. So then I took a break in 2020. I started drop shipping again and I found a product and I scaled it up to like 12,000, but I kept breaking even, some days profitable, some not. And like spending like couple $100 on ads every day. Like I was so nervous. Like I'm like, oh my God, I don't know what to do here, you know? And then at the time, like, I'm just like, I need somebody to help me out. So then like after that, like I stopped selling and like I came across you. I believe we had a call probably in like 2020, was it?
Yeah, a while ago.
Yeah. So like you told me your strategies, this and that. And I'm like, I still had that mindset like, oh, I could do it on my own, which was like the worst mistake ever. So after that, I'm like, all right, I'm going to take a break on drop shipping. I'm just going to wait and save money for the mentorship. And then like, in the meantime, I found like somebody else I was going to do it, and then like I was scrolling through YouTube one day and I seen you pop. I'm like, oh, wait a minute. I remember Michael, So I started watching like a bunch of your videos and I'm like, all right, like you actually say how it is, not like, make a website, you're going to be making money really quickly. You say like it's difficult, but if you listen like to you will make it, So then I'm like, all right, let's do it. And I signed up and like, it's been great so far.
Yeah, so maybe like share with us how it went from there. And like, first of all, how many products did you test after starting to work with me?
So this is product number 2 and it's taken off. First product didn't work out and second product, I don't know. I've only been in the mentorship. This is like my second month.
Yeah.
So it was fairly quickly. And after the first product, I spent money, didn't make it. And right away, I'm like, all right, let's go to the next product without getting like emotional attached or anything.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, maybe you can quickly share your screen and show us how the whole thing went. I mean, as you said, you're not testing this product for a while, and it's just like it's been tested recently. But yeah, you can share the screen. Okay, so basically here you made around 6.5K in the last like week. So you're doing like pretty consistent 1K per day, correct?
Yeah, around from like $800 to $1,000 every day.
Yeah. And how much do you spend in ads per day?
$300. I would spend more, but I'm kind of like on a Facebook limit at the moment. So I'm kind of just gathering data till we could scale up.
Yeah, maybe you can also share. By the way, first of all, look at the average order value. Like the average order value is very interesting because most people like say that low ticket stuff doesn't work at all. Okay, and how would you be able to make profit with like a $16 product? It's impossible. But if you go to your ads manager really quick, you can see pretty quickly. The last few days you spent like $800, and the cost of purchases are like $4, $5, $6. It's way lower than the average order value. So with a cost of purchase like this, it's totally fine to actually be profitable. And I mean, like, what's the profit margins on this per day? We're just roundabout.
Yeah, about like from 15 to 25%.
There we go. So totally in a realm of like fine, not a problem at all, even though it's such a low ticket item. And yeah, I mean, so far, you just like, when did you start testing this product?
I believe it was April 6th.
Okay, so around like 20 days ago.
Yeah, 20 days ago. Yep.
Yeah. And when did you hit your like first 1K day?
Yeah, it was actually Friday, and it was like the best feeling ever. You know, I'm like, all right, I made it. I'm like, let's go.
Yeah. Yeah, okay, you can stop the screen share now. So right off the bat, the most important thing now is that you get rid of this feeling of I made it. Okay, so
Right. Oh
like
yeah,
this,
for sure, definitely.
yeah, this is the most important because I've seen this happen. I've seen like the first pitfall is basically quitting after, for example, you tested one product, it didn't work. If you would have quit there, like you wouldn't have this product, obviously. However, like some people actually do. And the second hurdle, after you already start making some money, is you have this one product which is doing okay, and then you think you made it, and then you stop testing everything else. And that's a big, big issue. That's why I'm already like pushing for since like a week for you to actually start testing again what you do. So it's good. But yeah, maybe like share what your kind of biggest learnings were in the last like 1 or 2 months, and what was new to you about dropshipping with me.
Yeah, basically the ad creatives and the offer was like the biggest thing, and the upsells. Because like product research, I kind of knew how I was doing like pretty well. It's similar to yours, but yours is like taking it to the next level, which I like too, to be like 99% sure like that it's going to work. You know, like there are products that you think are going to work, don't work, but you just move on. You know, one will take off.
Yeah, for sure. So basically, what about the ads was new to you?
Yeah, so for the ads too, like at the time, like when I was testing my product before working with you, like I didn't know when to scale my ads, like what to do, like when to duplicate or any of that. And then like, you know, when we hopped on the call, you're like, yeah, you should do this, this, and that. I'm like, okay. And I just applied everything what you said to do. I'm like, I'm not going to touch anything unless you give me like the green light to do it. And it's been just rising up every day.
Yes. Yeah. And what I really like about you and what you do in general and why it also works is you kind of like shut everything off, which is like anything else than what I tell you. And that's like really, really good because like every single move you do, you ask before. Hey, should I turn this off? Should I do this? Should I do that? What's the next fit test? Like it's very, very good how you ask questions. And maybe like it's pretty interesting for other people to understand how you go through thinking about questions, because that's, I actually see that a lot of people struggle with asking me exactly as clear of a question as you do.
Okay, yeah. So basically, like for drop shipping, there's so many questions, and like you could be anywhere just having a coffee and you'll think of a question. So what I do is just like if I'm on the computer, wherever I'm at, I'll just write the question on my phone, and I come home and I write in my notebook, and then I prepare like a list of questions. And then when we have a call, I ask you, and then you like guide me like the correct answer and what to do next, and all answers. Because like you can think of so many questions, but you forget them by the time an hour or two passes. You're doing other things, and then you just don't know what's going on, you know?
Yeah, for sure. No, I've seen a lot of people struggle with that because they kind of go into the calls with me and they expect me just to tell them everything about everything without having very specific issues what they come to me with, you know? And what you do really well is like, that's the most important thing is just showing me a problem and asking me for the solution. That's it. That's all you need to do. Just telling me about the problem and I'm going to tell you what to do. But yeah, you do that really well. But for you, like how many products did you test before actually starting to work with me?
Oh, 20 to 30 products easily.
Yeah. And what, like you said, you had one product which actually broke even.
Yeah, one product, like some days I'd make like $200 and I'd lose like 100. And it was kind of just overall break even, but I did have some like good days, some bad days, you know. But I tested other products where like first 2 day I'd have a sale, second day sale, and then like I go to scale too quickly and then everything just falls apart.
Yeah. Understand. And I mean, yeah, like since like the past like few weeks where it started to actually pop up, what changed for you in like the mindset or like in the way you go about life or generally? Because for me, it was like a very big game changer when I actually saw everyday profit coming in the first time.
Right. Basically more and more motivation, like just let's take it to the next level. You know, like I really want to be into this, and like just think of ways that you could increase profit or like find the next product and just continue.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was exactly the same for me. And then slowly but surely, the motivation actually fades away after it starts becoming like normal. Because when you see like at least like $200 to $400 in profit every single day coming into your bank account, which is like $6,000 to $12,000 per month. If you actually start having those numbers very, very consistently, the motivation is kind of gonna slack, okay? Because you like it's very easy to think that you don't really need more. And after hitting this like 10K profit per month level, I've seen this happen a lot where you need to make a decision: do you want to make more or not? Because if you don't want to make more, that's fine. However, you need to be conscious of that and make sure that you just maintain, which also requires work. But if you actually want to push to really get to the next level, it's a very, very different story. And you're for sure going to face like completely new problems that you didn't even think about right now. When it comes to like getting from, for example, 1 to 2K per day to 2 to 5K or 5 to 10K per day. And it's just like, I've seen it's very like, to get from A to B is not the same as getting from B to C, okay? And it's very, very important to understand that, to make sure that you actually not just like replicate everything what you do in the beginning. Because for example, you ask me a question and I treat it like a question which you ask as a person who has his first winner now, okay? Before that, I treated your questions like a person who didn't have your first winner now. And like later on, I'm also going to treat your questions like, okay, you already had a bunch of winners, everything is going great, you make a stable income. Now we need to treat the problems differently, because there's always going to be different answers to everything. And yeah, but for you, what would you say is the reason why it took you so much time to actually get started with it?
Yeah, basically because like when you go on YouTube, there's just so many people out there like selling the courses, and like I'm just like, it was in the basically not even that, it was just the mindset like you could do this, you know. And it's just like it's the worst thing to do. Like you might be able to get to good levels, but you're never gonna take it to the next level.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And like what happened when you, for example, had like a question in your head back when you were doing things by yourself? You would try to just like solve it by yourself, or how did you go about finding solutions?
Yeah, by myself, like I'd go to Google or YouTube and then you get like so many answers and you're like, okay, I don't know which one, let's try one. And then the next one, you know, until you find the solution.
Yeah. And that's exactly the problem, like mixing strategies, because like my answer is only good to you. If I answer the exact same, what I tell you, to a person who applies a different strategy, it's a shitty answer, because my answer doesn't work if you don't do the whole package. And this is exactly what happens when you just Google, because you get an answer from one person to a question which is like asked from a person who doesn't apply the exact same strategy. So yeah. But what would you say is your goal for, let's say, the next 6 months? 6 months, yeah.
Yeah, basically consistency, you know, making, I don't know, maybe like 3,000 to 4,000 a month. Mm-hmm. And then if I could go more, let's do it, you know.
Yeah, yeah. I've seen that it's pretty like it's pretty rare to maintain 3 to 4K in profit. It's either more or less. Like I haven't seen anybody doing like on average for 6 months straight 3K profit per month. Like probably nobody I've ever seen doing that, because if you make 1K, you can make 2K.
Right. And then you're like, why not? Let's do it, you know?
Yes.
I mean, that'd be great. I'm all for it.
Yes. But what would you say is like kind of the biggest struggle you currently still have, and which issues do you think you're going to face in the next like couple of months?
Basically, like just preparing for the problems that could occur, you know, and then like when I do have like so many ad sets, just to make sure that like when to kill in the right time and when to scale up.
Yeah. And currently, you're also preparing the next product.
Yeah, it should be launched in about 2-3 days. Everything's been prepared.
Yeah, perfect. Okay. So yeah, basically, like what you're also going to notice from now is that the time to actually prepare product is going to be way quick. Okay, so it's going to be very important to be able to do same day tests, and that's like the goal where you actually want to work towards, because it's very important to see a product today and actually be able to test the product the same day, as long as you make sure that like the margins are good with the supplier, he answers you, and after that point, you should be able to test this product literally the same exact day by creating the videos, creating the store, setting up the ads. And those three things are like, you could do it by yourself, but the next big like leverage thing is going to be for sure VAs. And that's kind of like, that's going to be the next step. I mean, like how much time do you work per day right now?
Well, right now, like the way the day goes, usually like in the morning, I'll check my ads, analyze them, and then I'll check my profit loss sheet.
Mm-hmm.
And then basically through the day, I'll do like another hour of like the next product, their ads, or either like store creation. And then at night, maybe like an hour, sometimes 2, but it could be hour just to create new ads for the next day.
So just like 2 to 3 hours per day, something like that?
Yeah, it could be around, I'd say 2 to 4. It all depends, like if I'm working on the next product or not, but basically, 2 to 4 hours a day.
Okay. So what I would do is like, I would write down exactly what takes the most amount of time. And you do that, and then you which part of outsource the easiest, because like right now it's going to be like, you're not yet there, but you're going to soon hit a point where your time actually starts becoming more and more valuable, because before, when you start off with dropshipping, money is more valuable than your time, because your time is like, it's not a real asset yet because you don't have the skill. And when you start actually understanding everything and actually making products work, then the money should like the time and money should kind of swap and be replaced. So yeah, basically at first you're gonna like, the big difference I would say from a beginner to actually getting to advanced is using money to buy yourself time. And you're only going to be able to do that if you start tracking your time really well. And what I personally do is just like using the calendar structure of literally making sure that every single thing I do, I have in a block where I know, okay, this is how long like the estimate is how long it's going to take. And then I actually check and make sure that I change that to how long it actually took. Okay, so it's very important to make sure that you know how long a task takes. So for example, like, do you know how long it takes to check your ads in the morning? Do you know exactly how long that takes?
Yeah, about 20 minutes to 30 minutes, it varies.
Okay, so you plan that out exactly like that.
Yeah.
Yes, and then you're going to have new things. For example, like soon you're going to start getting like email support stuff. Like you have to answer a lot of emails right now?
Not at the moment, but like once I do I know like I was going to ask you for like good VAs, and then like I'm going to hire somebody, because I know that's going to take up a lot of time where I should be focusing on other things.
Exactly. But there, it's first important to understand how long it actually takes to answer an email. Because before you have that, how the fuck do you hire a VA like without knowing that? Because that's like, I have talked about that in the previous videos, but I literally like lost so much money because I had virtual assistants telling me how long things take, and I just take their word for like, all right, so it takes you 20 minutes to answer an email. Okay, I don't know, and that's it.
Yeah, they're milking those hours.
Oh, you have no idea. He started to the main guy started to hire new virtual assistants, which were partly like friends, and he got commissions from them. I understand that now. But basically, he said, "All right, I'm fully booked out. I don't have any more time to answer extra emails, so I need to have a second VA. He's going to be below me. He's going to be below me, and I'm going to manage him." I was like, "All right," and he started managing the second guy, and then the second guy super quickly also was filled out. And then he was like, it was 4 people basically doing every single day, like just email support. Okay, and I was doing like between, I think, 5 to 8K per day, which like you don't need that much time. You don't need 24 hours email support if you do those numbers. And I had no idea because I didn't do it by myself. Just after I realized, I realized just because of stupid mistakes of his, and he started to be weird about things, and I just thought, all right, let me just hire somebody else. And then I saw how long it actually takes, and only then I really realized how much money I lost on, like I just left on the table. So it's just going to be all those things which now you won't have this issue because I'm going to look over it, and that's going to be probably the main thing, which is going to be like the next leverage to that next level. But yeah, for you, what's like on the product which you're currently testing, what would you say were the split tests which made the most impact?
Yeah, basically the upsells. That was a game changer, and the offer that just like it took off after that.
Mm-hmm. So what did you do with upsells?
Yeah, so upsells like pre-purchase, post-purchase, and then after the post-purchase, one more like a downsell, upsell,
Mm-hmm.
and you'd be amazed like how many people buy that with your product. Probably about 30% of people.
So 30% of people buy an upsell.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's also one like huge mistake I did in the beginning, which I literally didn't have upsells on the first like over $500,000 I made, like zero. So that hurts. Yeah. I know that was like, that's like getting from 10% profit to like 20% profit. That's like that amount of difference, like doubling the profit.
Oh yeah, it's huge.
Yeah. But yeah, like for you, like did you do the upsell later on after it started to work well, or did you start with the upsell?
So I didn't start with the upsells, and after like you analyze the ads for me, you're like, okay, you need to put the upsells in. As soon as you told me to do it the next day, like I was just like, my average order value just like jumped up, and I just couldn't believe it.
Yeah. So how much was it before?
Probably around 11. Now it's at like $17 to $20. It varies every day.
Yeah. I mean, that's like upsells are just huge. But like on the screen when you shared it, it was 16. The average order value, is that different because of
a 16? It varies. Some days 16, 17. It all depends, like on the time frame.
Yeah.
From like 16, I'd say is the lowest.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, like maybe one more question is, what would you tell to a person who is like testing products, but they cannot make it work? What would they need to do to actually make it work? Like I've seen a lot of people testing 5 to 10 products without a winner, which can happen, but most of the times they have mistakes somewhere. So what would you tell to those kind of people?
Yeah, basically just a lot of split testing, and like, if you could think you could do it on your own, just stop and like maybe get some help from a mentorship. Like Michael's mentorship's absolutely amazing, and they will help you out, and like he will take care of you that way. Like you could take the product to the next level. Because if you do it by yourself, you're going to have like maybe like 2 months, you're going to spend like 20 grand, but you're going to have like maybe like $200 in profit, where it's just like all your time was wasted for no reason, where you could have turned that easily into $5,000-6,000 profit.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, like, think about it. How much? What do you think? Where would you be at right now if the first call we had, you actually would have started?
Oh yeah, next levels. I'm like at least like 70, 80,000 a month easily.
Yeah, I would agree, because like, yeah, like the people which I love working with the most is people who already tested some things before. I also have students which didn't test anything, and we just get them to like the first step of testing and then finding winners. But the students which absorb the information the quickest, from my experience, is people who have tested a few things. It didn't work out, or it did work out, or whatever, but at least I see that they actually immediately took action. Because most people in the dropshipping industry, and like probably like from the people watching right now, like 60-70% minimum have never tested a single product ever, which is crazy to me. Because when I saw dropshipping, when I discovered dropshipping, 6 days later I had a product which I test, like which I spent money on. Okay, there was no like I'm going to think about it for a month or 2 months or 3 months. No, like you see something which looks good, let's test it and see if it actually is good. And then the second phase is where, okay, it worked or it didn't work, especially if it didn't work, I'm still going to keep going, and I'm still going to make sure that I understand that if other people made it work, and a lot of other people made it work, then I can actually also do the same. And I just have issues somewhere where I have no idea where. And those people, like, it's just so much easier to teach them because they already, like, it's not that they do something better. It's more that it's kind of the type of people who execute quicker. It's not even that they have the past knowledge and they already tested a bunch of products and that's why it's easier. No, it's literally people who execute quick win, and that's it. That's like, that's the only reason why people make like money in dropshipping, because they can make quick decisions and execute as soon as possible without thinking, like without double thoughts or nothing. And I see also like people where, for example, in the first initial call I have a call with a person, and they're just ready. They say that yes, immediately, I'm in. I don't have to think about it. Nothing. I'm in. That's it. Those are the people who are like, they're easy, like they're quicker to commit and just move things. And I would say that that's one of the most important like aspects of dropshipping, because it's impossible to make things work if you, like, one person where it takes like a month or two to test a product versus a person where you can test 20 products in the same amount of time period. It, like, you cannot win. That's it. Basically, when you start testing products in dropshipping immediately, that's the only way to do it. It's the only way to do it because most people don't. And that's why if you look at like the dropshipping industry as a whole, most people don't make money at all. Zero, nothing. But most people also don't test shit, nothing. Right. And that's like when I actually realized that, that was huge for me, because I understood that already by testing, you're so much more like further than everybody else just by testing products. So
right, yeah, because like if you're not testing, like you'll never make it. Or if you do have sales, you think, oh, it doesn't work. But if you actually put the time into it and change stuff to work, like you could make like crazy money. Where I thought at first, like I remember like in the first sale ever, and I'm like, wow, this is really possible, and then you just got to make some improvements. And then like I thought you could just make like decent money, but after setting up everything up the correct way, you could just take it to the next level.
Yeah. And this is like I was hooked after literally the first $50 I made, the $50 I made. After like I remember how I made a shout out on like a boxing Instagram page for a random product I saw. And like I started refreshing the screen for the first like 3-4 hours of the shout out, nothing, and zero sales. And like somewhere at midnight, I remember how this first sale actually hit. And I just like I went crazy because I understood, without any experience, prior knowledge, nothing. I have no idea what I'm doing. I actually made some money. Was it profitable? No, but I made money. Like somebody bought something from me. And to understand that means that if you actually wouldn't know what you're doing, then more people would buy from you and it would cost you less to get a person to buy from you. And as soon as I understood that, that was like the only thing I had in mind, the only thing for the first year. And I also I was stubborn, and the first year I tried to do things by myself, nothing was working. But yeah, I was also like very, very lucky in finding a person who coached me through the thing in the beginning. And for me, it was, I was almost there. I knew most of the things, and most of the things I did were doing, like I was doing things right. But I just had like 2 little tweaks I needed to do. And he told me, because he immediately saw the problem in the whole funnel, and it blew up. And yeah, like I'm seeing you having basically the same thing, because you already did a lot of things right. And the product you showed me, you had good product. Like that was actually surprising to me, because most people who come to me, that the products are the issue. The products are normally the issue, because that's kind of the first, yeah, that's like the main problem which most people have. But is the product you're currently testing, is that the same product which you already made work previously?
It's a different variant. So the other variant, I did make some money. It was somewhat profitable, but it was like I didn't know what I was doing. So I was like too nervous to scale it up. So this is like the same product, just different variant.
Yeah. So before, like you tested that and you made like 12K breaking even. And then right now it's like it's just a couple of tweaks we did in the offer and the ads. And like I understand what you mean. And we just tweaked those two things, and now it's really profitable. And I mean, like if you make like $200 in profit daily, that already means something. And to get that to like consistently either that or more is the next thing. But there's a big difference in just having a third perspective looking over everything you're doing. And that was the exact same thing for me, because I also had a good product, but the product didn't like really take off because I was doing things wrong in the offer and the ads. So yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Like just having like you look over my stuff, you know, it just helps you out so much instead of just like sitting there trying to figure it out in your own, like see if you want to make the wrong mistake or not.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, maybe anything you would tell a super beginner which never tested anything? What are the first steps?
Yeah, basically test out, I'd say 2 products just so you know how the whole setup goes, and then stop and save up some money and sign up for a mentorship and have somebody guide you. Just don't do it on your own because it's going to cost you in the long run, where in that year you testing your products on your own, if you're with somebody else, you could be making like crazy money.
Yeah, 100%. And like you don't even need to test, like you can test a few products first, but not even that is needed. We've seen people going from 0 to really good numbers, as long as they're the type of people who execute quick. Okay. If you're in dropshipping for like the last 4 or 5 months and you haven't tested things still, you need to change something up. Something needs to be changed drastically because you're doing a lot of things wrong. And just like information is not going to get you anywhere right now. The new information, like, you know, in general, in theory, you know what to do, but just the practical advice of, is this a good product? Yes or no? Is this a good product? Yes or no? That's what you're lacking. You're not lacking the theory of like how to run the ads campaigns or whatever. That's not what most people lack at the beginning. It's just of having either the confidence of, okay, I'm doing things right. Because if you don't have the confidence of like, if you test things, if you test 10 products without being confident that you're doing things right, that's very scary, because you might lose, like you might think, all right, I'm not 100% sure if I'm doing things right, and that's why maybe I'm just burning through money. It doesn't matter how many products I'm going to test right now, I'm not going to find a winner. Okay. However, if you have that either confidence within you that you're doing things right, or have another person give you the confidence because they're telling you if you're doing things right or wrong, everything gets much easier. But yeah, I think we can wrap it up here. I really appreciate you taking your time, and yeah, I mean, looking forward to having another like interview in a few months and seeing where everything got.
Oh, for sure. Let's get those profit margins to $500, $1,000 a day.
Yes, 100%. All right, and everybody who's watching right now, if you also want to join the mentoring program, click the link below, sign up for a free consultation session. We can have a one-on-one call. It's going to be with me personally. We're going to figure out if everything is a good fit. If yes, we're going to start working together. If no, not. And yeah, basically click the link below. See you there.